Countdown. Da theme song. We are live. Honk time. That was a good honk.
That's
All
the
right.
honk.
Yeah. This is wait. Was the goose there last week too?
No, well, it was there, but it was not on the stream.
Oh, okay. This is Gary, aka Sir Honks a Lot, aka Gans.
Gans.
Whom Nella has transported back to Amsterdam, where we are both right now. Because last week we were in Berlin.
This week, Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. We won't talk about Amsterdam neighborhoods.
Actually, I have to say, embarrassingly, you were right about the neighborhood, by the way.
Really?
It was Kreuzberg. It's like the border. Like it was not Mitte. It gives me Mitte vibes, but it was not.
I thought it was Mitte.
No, I thought it was Mitte. You said it's Kreuzberg.
No, everyone else thought it was Kreuzberg, and I thought it was... Anyways, this is not relevant.
Well, okay.
All right. I'm going to share my screen because today... All right. So last week, we talked about create Honc app with the OpenAPI template. And then this week, we did a little teaser, but we are going to look at the Fiberplane API Explorer, which builds off of sharing screen, builds off of those OpenAPI templates. And here we go. I'm presuming, yeah, I'm sharing my screen. I'm going to open up my terminal. I'm going to go to, well, yeah, we're just going to make an app right here. So I'm going to do pnpm create honc app at latest. And we're going to go through the mode. Oh, I need to download it. Oh, there we go. Okay. We'll just do, okay. Honc out, which number is this? 7.
Oh, 7, okay.
Honc out 7. I'm going to select a D1 template. I'm going to use an OpenAPI spec like last week. I do want to install dependencies and I want to initialize a Git repo. While that's going on in the background, the thing to know is we at Fiberplane have the AKA the Goose Company. We've released a piece of middleware that you can mount inside Hono applications that gives a sort of like a playground to play with your API. And there's more stuff. Oh, I'm hearing that my screen is not visible.
Oh, I know why. Now we can see your screen. Oh my God.
Okay, wow. It's narrating. Thank you, Christina. Yeah.
So, okay, recap. Brad was doing the CLI setup that we've been doing in the other streams so far. You see now the finished setup.
Voila. Okay.
I was focusing too much on your screen, actually. So
I know.
I was not focusing on if we share or not.
Okay. So here we have Hono OpenAPI. Template looks like it's doing fine. I'm going to pnpm db setup, which will get our D1 database set up locally. And then we're going to launch the app. And then we're going to look at what Fiberplane's been up to because it's pretty exciting. So I have my database set up.
I mean, I also heard, well, we heard two things in Berlin. First, it was not a good UI, and the person corrected himself after you said you're working on it. So maybe people in the stream have an opinion about the UI.
Yeah, all right. So, well, okay. The funny thing here, a type error.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. We need to update our templates. A lot, apparently. There we go. This should be optional. So, well, that's a to-do for me. Once you create the template, if you look at the bottom, you'll see this chunk of code, which is .use, and then this path right here, and then create Fiberplane. What that's going to do is mount a couple of routes on your API. It's really important that you put this at the bottom. For various reasons we don't need to get into. And what does this create Fiberplane? Where is it coming from? It's coming, well, hello. It's coming from the @fiberplane/Hono package. So this just creates a piece of middleware, again, that will expose a UI for your API locally. And it looks like I already have something on 8787. So let's see how this goes. All right, my API is live. We have honc from above. And I go to FP because that's where I mounted this in the template. And when I go to FP,
Boom.
voila. I get something that looks like the previous Fiberplane Studio. The critical difference here is that it's all backed by OpenAPI. It's mounted on my API itself, and then it lets me test any of the routes that I have in my template.
So you don't need to start up a new service for this. It's all in your application already.
Exactly. So previously, we had something where you set up kind of a sidecar, and this time it's baked into your API.
And that's it. But I think there's also a difference because before we stored data in the application, and now we don't have a database to it. But there will be stuff to come.
Oh yes.
So, but it's a different on the architecture perspective that I found interesting. Maybe I don't want to go too deep into this, but that's a
I think
that's a get.
There's just less friction to getting this playground. So like we have found that this is very useful for people who have external APIs. They want to invite someone to test their API, and then they just have a playground out of the box. So whereas like Swagger and documentation things tend to be like lots of docs first and then make a request, we're a bit more on the front of like, go and make your request. And if you want, look at the docs, which do not show. I can zoom out a little. Because that's the root route. Yeah. So you can see documentation for any of the routes under this tab, and you can always see your list of routes. So I'm going to hit Command B, and that will pop open the route sidebar. Hit Command B again, and that will close it. Other things to consider. Oh, this little tour de force. We need to make this more discoverable. But something that I really love is, we pre-fill the request body for any post requests with an example from your API code. So in this case, I have this user schema right here, which is being used in my OpenAPI create a new user route. And I defined an example for all the different fields. And then those examples are getting parsed in the UI to give you just a sensible default for something that you create. So you can modify it as you see fit. And if you ever, well, let's see if this works. If I click this button, it doesn't modify it back. That's actually kind of nice. So this button, maybe we get rid of it.
I mean, if it's there anyhow, why? Well, I don't know.
Yeah. What else? If you do not have a JSON route, which we don't have an example for this, you can always change the content type of your request. So if you're doing a multi-part form with images, you can upload an image right here and submit that to your API. It's handy if you're testing things like adding a profile picture. And if you have authentication on your API, we're going to change the UX on this, so please just bear with me. But right now, you add it in settings, which is this cog right here. You just click right here. And then you can kind of add a few. Oh, is that broken? Well, I know what I'm doing after the live stream.
Well, but normally you can add your auth header.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
But it's interesting,
this will be fixed by the time. Oh, I wonder. Yeah, this will be fixed by the time that you watch this.
No, it's live, Brad. This cannot be.
I'm fixing it right now. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna refresh the page. Something went borked. Okay, the UI just wasn't updating.
Oh, okay. You created a lot of authentication headers for yourself.
It turns out. I promise, world, I will fix this. So in this case, I can input a token, ABC123.
Then again, well, you are inputting it, but you don't see it.
Yeah. Oh, no. All right, fix that too. And part of it got
a C. Yeah,
we got a C. So you can attach auth to every single request that you make for a given route, so you can reuse that across requests. The teaser for coming month is that we do have some experimental features that are a bit more of the exciting side. So like we don't want to just serve something that's like a docs explorer. We are very interested in this idea of a workflow, which is also OpenAPI compliant. which allows you to specify how to stitch together multiple requests, and then treat it like one API route. Unfortunately, if I do this right now, I will get this, which says workflows are disabled. And that's because you need an API key. And if you are watching this and you want to play with this, go to our Discord, which you can find the link right down here. Probably also on the live stream.
Probably. We can add it. We can add it to the description.
Yeah, look for the Fiberplane Discord. Pop us a message in there, and we can set you up. It's actually very fun, but I do want to leave that for another time.
I think that will be an own episode once we have that
Yep.
to talk about. And then I think it's also we maybe talk also about Cloudflare workflows, because our workflows are built on top of Cloudflare workflows, which can be confusing, but there can't be enough workflows.
Nella loves workflows.
I love workflows.
Yeah, it's something I discovered recently.
I have a past history with it. So
the other thing that will be coming tomorrow is the ability to connect a tracing UI. So right now we're going to get probably an ugly error that we can't load traces because I don't have anything running to collect them. But those are kind of that's the direction that we're taking a little bit with this kind of embedded UI.
And I guess if you still know the version 1 from Fiberplane that we did, it will be similar, right? So
yes.
The call chain of your request that is going through the application.
Yep.
Which I found quite handy. If you is more maybe that's more the feature if you are developing and not test.
Yes.
If you're not the user of an API who wants to try out.
Yep.
But if you're more the person who still develops and want to see oh, this is a database call, this takes ages.
I will say, so last week we let this go live during a hackathon in Berlin, and there were people who were running into issues, and I wanted traces so badly.
Yeah.
It was so I was just oh, I want the trace, because we just ended up peppering in some log statements to figure out what was going wrong.
But I think that's also an interesting way to see it, right? It's for the one perspective for people. If you build a API for others to use, Playground can be the place. But also if you build, you can use Playground already to test your API or to get more insights, for example, with tracing.
Yeah. So that's all very exciting. I don't know. We can fire off a request real quick. It's pretty simple. I think do we still have? All right, we have this. What's a good name? Gans. And Gans works at Cloudflare, obviously. And if I fire off this request, creates the user, and then if I listen, Gans, you're now officially. Thank you so much for being that close to me, Gans. We can scroll to the bottom, and we see that Gans was added.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's kind of all I wanted to show today. I don't know if is there anything I missed?
No, I don't think so. But I think we have time to talk about traces and workflows once we have it live for everyone. And next week is going to be exciting because we have a guest joining next week.
Yeah, next week will be super cool.
We talk more about OpenAPI and about a different package you can use to generate them in your Hono application. Aditya will join us, and he is a maintainer of Hono, but also creator of Rhinobase. And Rhinobase released a package that is not extending the app class, but that is, I think, plugging into the validation middleware.
Yeah.
And so you can have different validation schemas, and you can add incrementally descriptions to your routes instead of changing the whole app structure. You can still use a normal Hono app structure and then decide, oh, this application or this route, I need a documentation for that, and add it. But we will talk more about it next week.
Yeah. The thing that I like, okay, I'm going to repeat this next week, but the thing that I like the most about what he's done is it's kind of progressive addition of OpenAPI.
Yeah.
So these templates are great if you know out of the gate you want to write an OpenAPI spec for your API, the one that we've provided. And if you already have a simple API and you want to start adding in OpenAPI goodness, the set of utilities that he has is just it's chef's kiss. Cool. Then we're at the 15-minute mark.
Perfect.
Sweet.
Sweet.
If you were in Amsterdam.
Oh yeah, if you're in Amsterdam, we are at Dev World on Thursday and Friday at the Cloudflare booth with a demo. So we are demoing Fiberplane, but also Honc a little bit more. Stop by if you have questions.
Well, are we bringing the goose?
I don't know. Well, maybe.
I can, well, yeah.
Maybe on Friday you can bring the goose. The goose
Yeah.
never has been to a conference.
I know. Yeah, your first conference. Gods. Yeah. I also, what happened to my goose suit?
Christina had it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I might be wearing a goose suit. It depends on the vibe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll feel it out. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's it.
That is it.
We have a Honc outro.
Yeah. Honk. Honk honk. Honk.